Hello, hello, hello out there in Facebook land, also to all my YouTube viewers. It's your girl, Angera Marie, International Angera, and you are watching COVID-19 in Company, conversations from the epicenter across the globe. And I thank you all for joining us today. We have a very special day. First, I have to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. And I really wanted to take some time today acknowledge all the wonderful men in our lives, the fathers, whether you're a birth father or if you've been a father figure to someone. I just want to say thank you. You are appreciated. We love you and happy Father's Day. And I hope you are enjoying this Father's Day here in 2021. So, for most of you, you normally see me with background. I am traveling, but I did not want to miss this opportunity to speak with my very special guest and to honor fathers. So, I'm on the road and I am, hoping to keep a good connection. And also, I have some very special guests that we want to talk about Juneteenth because I'm really excited that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. Yay! They're calling it the Jubilee. And I'm so excited about that. And I'm out here in LA, and we did a Juneteenth celebration with Miss Moza Cooper yesterday. It was a wonderful event. And I got to walk the runway for Mr. Soro Beast USA. You all know Soro Beast. I'm sure you've seen him on the show. And also, I've been modeling for him for quite a few years now. So I'm sure you all are familiar. And we also modeled for Aquavi Slater. She's a designer from Togo, and I'll have some pictures on my regular page on Facebook and on my model page, so you can check those out there. So today I'm just gonna skip the COVID stuff. I could say that I'm here in LA and I'm seeing most places you can go without a mask. They posted signs saying, if you're not vaccinated, they ask that you wear a mask, but if you're vaccinated, it's not required. But how do you know who is and who's not? So mainly people are walking around without masks here. I just encourage everybody to continue to be safe and system strong and all that good stuff. Wash your hands, stay safe. So today I have my very good friend, Andrew. Andrew, is it Landry? Did I say it right?
Yeah, Landry.
Andrew Landry. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me, and happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there.
Yes, happy Father's Day to you as well. I was like, I gotta get this phenomenal gentleman on the show because you have a lot of going on and you're truly a leader in the community. So I was like, let me try to steal some time. And you were so gracious to agree to join us today on Father's Day. So we really do appreciate that. And how are you doing today?
Doing good. A little tired today. It's been a long week and a long weekend, but nothing greater than celebrating Father's Day.
Okay. Yes. So how are you and your family amidst this whole COVID-19 pandemic?
All of my kids are grown, so they're kind of doing their own things. Me and my wife struggle a little bit because one of our things is travel. And so since we've been limited on travel, it's been kind of a burden on us. So we're kind of
Yes.
excited about getting back to traveling again. So, it is what it is.
Oh, okay. I understand. Well, I hope you get back to travel soon. So I just want to take a minute to read your bio so people kind of get an idea who you are. Landry is from Raywood, Texas, nationally known author and public speaker. He has a master's degree in Christian ministries with focus on pastoral counseling. He is the founder of Where Men Hurt, which is a nonprofit organization designed to provide men of all ages a safe and non-judgmental environment to repair, replenish, and revive their spirit via effective and honest communication. He is the author of Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has, a book topically about sexual addiction. Landry recently released his second book, After the Violation, a comprehensive guide to healing after being sexually mishandled. His purpose is to help persons with addictive behaviors get to a better place in their life. So that, like, that's phenomenal what you're doing. And I think there's this misconception, like, for me, when I look at men, I see strength, and I'm just like, they're strength, they're strong, they're leaders. Like, I never thought about that men hurt too. And when I heard about your organization, I was like, well, we really need to talk about this, because I used to kind of be that girl that was like, I would throw blows, not physically, but I would throw blows at guys that were like a lot of people. We look at men and we don't want to see men cry because we feel like it's a weakness if you cry, but you're human and it's natural to have emotions and have feelings. And I think a lot of people miss that. So we're going to get some information from you. And my thought is, well, how can we identify when men are hurting, and what we can do as a whole, but what, especially what I can do as a woman to contribute to supporting men in the healing process, because a woman, a wife, is a helpmate to a man. So if you have the resources and the tools necessary to build up your king, he'll be the best king that he could possibly be and reach his highest potential with the proper support.
Absolutely.
So, I read your bio, but I'd like you to tell us a little more about yourself, what you would like to share.
So I wrote my first book maybe in 2018 called Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. The book is
Yes.
topically it's about my journey overcoming sex addiction. So when I was a
Mhm.
young boy, I was sexually molested by a female that was really close to the family. That lasted for about 3 years. And then
Mhm.
from about 6 to 16, it happened again, but it was with a male that was close to the family. So in that process, I developed this sexual addictive behavior, unbeknownst to me that where it came from. But at the time, I was just doing what you do when you know what to do. And so, in my first marriage, I cheated on my wife the whole time. My second, pretty much the same. And one of the things that kind of turned it for me was in 2006. I was introduced to Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And so then
Amen.
things started trending in a different direction. But one of the issues that I still had was I was still having, after I got saved, I was still having sex outside of my marriage. And so it was a
Mhm.
struggle for me because I was wondering, if any man in Christ is a new creature, then why didn't it work for me? And so
Right.
one of the things my pastor reminded me was that although salvation is instantaneous, deliverance is a process. And so then I
Mhm.
started taking the necessary steps, going to see a therapist to get to a place where I could be fully delivered from the sexual addictive behavior.
Awesome. That's really awesome. That you had somebody who could explain to you the difference in the process, because I think a lot of people are at that point, because we are new creatures when we've accepted Jesus Christ as our Savior. There is a transformation that's to take place, but we have to understand the process of getting to the fullness of that. So I really appreciate you explaining that. And that's a very important key thing, on why you wrote the book, and how you were inspired to do so through your personal experience. So, how long have you been writing?
Oh, actually, I don't even like to write. Like writing and reading are not like my thing. But God gave me the
Yes.
book. God gave me the book to write, so I wrote it. And
Wow.
it came from the my theme scripture, which is Revelations 12 and 11. They
Hmm.
overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And so,
Amen.
as Christians, the blood always works. There's never
Yes.
failure in the blood. But what I believe is lacking is the word of our testimony. And so, I wrote the book at a point in my life when I wanted to help other people be free.
Hmm. Okay. Wow, that's really good. So, I know you have another book also. What's the title of that book? And tell us a little bit about that one.
So after the violation, a comprehensive guide to after being sexually mishandled was it's kind of a journal of the steps that I took to get past the sexual abuse. So it's kind of step by step ways that you can go about if you've been sexually mishandled. And I chose the word mishandled very carefully because there are instances where, people may have been raped or sodomized or, different sexual things. And so I didn't want to be specific to those individual things. Sexual mishandling
Mhm.
covers all of those areas.
Right, understood. So that's where this book stems from.
Absolutely.
And tell us again the name of the book.
The other one is After the Violation, a comprehensive guide to healing after being sexually mishandled.
Okay, wow. And where can we find these books?
So you can get either of the books on my website, which is wheremenhurt.org, or they're both available on Amazon.
Okay, awesome. So we'll have to check those out. I want to ask you too about your organization because not only do you have the books, but you have an organization called Where Men Hurt. What motivated you to start this organization, and what are some of the services that you're offering there?
So Where Men Hurt was birthed out of my first book, Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. As I was
Mhm.
writing the book, one of the things that I wrote in the book was, when I was going through these issues, I suffered in silence. I didn't have anybody to talk to. And so
Right.
while it seemed true at the time, one of the things I realized that it really wasn't. So I gave the book to my cousin before I published it, let him edit it, and he read that statement and he immediately stopped and he said, "Well, I was here the whole time." And I didn't really think about the reaching out part or the availability of those that were close to me. And so in that process, what God revealed to me is that men just don't have a safe place to talk about real life issues in a non-judgmental setting. And so that's where he gave me the title Where Men Hurt, because we hurt in more than just one area. And so we look at where men hurt with their mental health, where men hurt with their physical health, where they hurt in finance, business, relationships, sexuality. So we look at all of those different avenues and we try to figure out the best method for getting them to a better place.
Okay, wow. So what tell us what are some of the signs that our men are hurting, and what we can do as women, and anybody listening, it doesn't have to be a woman, it could still be another man, it might be a friend or a family member, but what signs we could kind of look for that a men are hurt that men are hurting, and what we can kind of do to support and strengthen them.
Well, the primary thing is being in relationship, right? So if you're in a relationship, you should know the person that you're in a relationship with. So what
Hmm.
happens is we tend to let them stay in the same cycle, the withdrawn or stonewalling or you know kind of backing away from real issues, anger, depressiveness. So it's those things that the signs, but they're manifest from a different place. So we can see the depressive attitude or the anger, but it's stemming from something else. So really the primary goal of Where Men Hurt is to build relationships so that men can feel safe in sharing those things. As far as the part with the women, what I can tell you is the probably the most important thing that I would say is be a safe place. Be a place that where he can come to you and say, "I'm dealing with this," and there's not a negative reaction or a negative, kind of connotation to whatever he's dealing with, even if it's something that's hurtful to you. So a lot of times I'll mention to the guys, if I come in the room and I tell my wife that I'm dealing with lust, her first reaction is kind of push back or away. And so for me, that comes
Right.
across as judgment. And so, if she provides a safe place and comes back and says, well, what do we need to do, or how can I help you? Then I feel it's safe, and then I can be more vulnerable, transparent, and open.
I got you. So let me ask you this, because I know as a woman, when I see, like, if I think something's wrong, I'll say, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Or "Is there a problem?" And normally I get, "There's no problem. Nothing's wrong." How could women, especially because we don't understand sometimes, the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, how could we respectfully go about getting to that safe place, like you're saying, that if there is something wrong, that men would be more open to talk about it.
I think the first thing is gaining their trust, gaining our trust, I should say. Typically when we're in a place where we are not giving up that information, is because we feel that there's been a breach of trust, or we feel like there has been judgment. So now we know that if we say this or if we tell you that there may be some repercussions. So I think the first thing is building that trust. And then the second thing, and this is one of the kind of the things that or tools that I give to the guys is, when you ask a brother, how's he doing? And he say, oh, I'm good. Then ask him, is there anything in particular you're struggling with? Right? Anything in particular on your mind? Anything in particular that you feel like you want to just chat about? Because we are looking for a safe place to give that information. We just have to know that you're the safe place.
Got you. And if that trust has been broken, would you say it's possible to repair that place?
With men, it's hard just because they have such a high level of pride, and
Hmm.
and so typically with men, the trust is not the issue, but what it manifests itself as is a lack of respect. So then they feel disrespected when they've been put in that situation. And so now that you've disrespected me, I'll go to my defense mechanism, which is maybe stonewalling, which is maybe, withdrawal or standoffish. It comes out in those different ways. And so it takes a lot of hard work to rebuild that. But I mean, rebuilding trust on both sides is the same. It takes a lot of
Yeah,
hard work, and both people have to be willing to put in the work.
got you. Okay, that's good. And that's really good to know, because I would have never thought of it as a disrespect thing. Like what you said, to men, it comes off as disrespect, and I would have not thought of that. So that you just enlightened me with that information. So at your organization, like, do you hold workshops? Like, how do you bring these men together?
So currently we meet at a barbershop in Humble, Texas. We meet on Monday nights. And so from 6:30 to 8:30, we come into the barbershop. All men are welcome. There's no fee, there's no charges, no membership or anything like that. Any man that wants to come can come. So we sit in the barber chair, we sit around in the barber shop, and we do an introduction, let everybody introduce themselves, kind of what they do, and then I come out and I tell my story of why we're here and what our purpose is, and then we open up the floor. And if there's a man that's dealing with something, typically it'll get quiet when I say, is there anything going on? But then, because somebody in the group has been a part of the group, they know that it's a safe place, so then they may start talking about what they're dealing with. And so from there, what we do is we take that information. Each person or anybody that would like to weigh in on it has an opportunity to. And so we try to give them the best practical and spiritual advice so that they can take what works for them and they can use it effectively to get into a better place.
That's awesome that you're doing that. So where can people, like men, maybe there's a man that's watching right now that might be interested in coming, to meet up with you all on Monday nights. Can you give us that information, how they can find you, how they can come and be a part of that?
So all of my social media is Where Men Hurt. So if they just go to Where Men Hurt on Facebook, Instagram, we post in there weekly when we're having the meetings. We also have a private Facebook group for those that can't physically be there. We also have Zoom. We do a hybrid model for those that are out of state. So we have quite a few people out of state that show up every week. So
Nice.
we try to make it available to each man. And the Facebook page usually tells what days. So I do another meeting in Liberty, which is a little bit further east, on the fourth Monday. So we just meet the first 3 Mondays of the month. The fourth one I go out there, and then if there's a fifth one, we take that Monday off.
Okay, that's really good. So I know that you're having an event coming up soon. We were talking a little bit about that. Can you tell us about the event?
So this is our third year with Where Men Hurt, and we're having our third annual Where Men Hurt Men's Conference. It's going to be in Pasadena, Texas, on August the 27th and 28th, and it's going to be very informative, educational, and a safe place for men to come together. And we'll be talking about those topics, where men hurt with their physical health. So we have a doctor that comes in and talks about some things in physical health that we could do, or mental health therapists that can come in and talk about, what we need to do for us mental health and, anxiety or depression or those different things that may show up. And so we'll touch on those 6 or 7 topics. We'll have Q&A, or open forum, so that guys can ask questions, or they can say that they're dealing with information and dealing with things, and we can give them the correct information. So that's August the 27th and 28th at Fountain Blue Event Center in Pasadena.
Wow, that's awesome to look at the overall health. That's a good event. I want to ask you too, like maybe sometimes there's men that, like, I have friends, I have family, I have people that I might be like, yeah, this kind of event, I think that would be really a great thing for you to do, but they might be resistant, like they don't feel like they need help, or they're not at a place to say, oh, well, I don't know those people to say I trust them. What would you say to a man that maybe needs the encouragement to just take the first step to join an event like this, or to join with you guys on a Monday night in a group setting?
Well, the first thing I say is it's absolutely safe, and we don't expect you to trust us coming in. But what we do expect is that you, even if you come, that you can just listen. Nobody is required to talk. Nobody's required to present an objection or a problem. Nobody's required for that. So many times we get people that just come in and listen, and then as they listen, most of the time there's an issue that they're dealing with that is talked about that night, and so then they feel more comfortable weighing in, because in essence, we've laid it all out there. I mean, we've had situations where people came in and they talked about cheating on their wives, and you know that they were starting to fall for another woman. So we talk about those things that you really don't hear about, and we do it in a non-judgmental way. Nobody's looking at that person like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. But we try to hold them accountable. We kind of tell them the steps. Obviously I cheated on my wives before, so we kind of give them steps. What did it take for us to get to a better place, and then they can take whatever works best for them and kind of go with that.
Okay, that's really good. So, if there's anyone listening and you would like to join the group, you can check out Andrew's website for more information. This is a Monday night thing, and you don't have to be in Texas in order to participate. Like he said, you have the Zooms and everything like that, that people can be a part of it. So I definitely want to encourage you to be a part of what he's doing. And, some people say, well, they don't believe in counseling and those kind of things. So this is a more informal way, to kind of push through some issues and come to a safe place to talk to some people and, move forward in life and be in a better place than where you are today. So I want to ask if you would like to leave any final words of encouragement to the viewers today.
Well, first thing I would say is you're not in this fight by yourself. The same thing that any man is dealing with, there's another man that's probably right next to him that's dealing with the same thing. The primary goal is to have a whole man. And I made this post the other day and I got a little flack for it, but I believe it's true. They always talk about, behind every successful man, there's a strong woman. I think a whole man is better than a strong woman. I think a whole man will complement that strong woman, but then there seems to be a level of competition being a strong woman and a man who is designed to be strong. So I would say just be cautious about trying to do it by yourself. Don't suffer in silence. If there's an issue, there is somebody that's willing to listen. There is somebody who will be in your corner, and come see us. You know, we're available, we're open, and there's no issue that's too big that we can't get through.
Wonderful. Tell us again your website, and tell us the dates again for your event. I just want to reiterate that for anyone who may not have had a chance to jot it down.
So the website is wheremenhurt.org. It'll have all the information. The conference is August the 27th and 28th at Fountain Blue Event Center in Pasadena, Texas. Um, and Where Men Hurt is my social media handles. The other thing I want to kind of mention on the night, the Friday night, we're going to do a social justice piece. So we're going to have members of the law enforcement to come in, and we're going to do kind of like a town hall where everybody can, ask questions, voice their concerns, voice their frustrations. So we're going to do that on Friday night, and then from 6 to 7, and then after that, we're going to have a bingo fundraiser where we'll be playing for prizes like Apple Watches and iPads and different stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, just please join us. You can register for the conference on Eventbrite. Just type in "Where Men Hurt," and we'll be getting everything set up for the bingo, and we'll put that out there also.
Okay. It sounds like fun. It sounds like it's going to be a great event. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. So I'll have to talk to you after the event and just see like the kind of impact. I know you get a lot of feedback from the gentleman that you've helped, that you've assisted through this process. And I thank you so much for spending some time with us on Father's Day, just to tell us a little bit about what's going on, what you're doing, and how we can be supportive and help men that are hurting. Because, like you said, it's important to be a whole man, and we want to see everybody reach their potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I thank you so much again, Andrew. Um, I support you in what you're doing. Please let us know when you're having any other events or anything coming up because we want to make sure to highlight those things.
Absolutely. I'll definitely keep you informed.
Okay, great. So you guys check out Where Men Hurt on all social media. You can go to the website wheremenhurt.org. All right,
Thank you.
great. You're welcome. So I want to take a little twist here. I want to transition and talk about Juneteenth a little bit with some of the movers and shakers here in LA who have made it possible. So, Andrew, you're welcome to hang on if you have to go. I understand. You're free to disconnect, but I appreciate you and I'll talk to you soon. You may have something that you want to add to the Juneteenth um, topic as well, but I'm going
Now,
to transition.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm going to dinner with the kids.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. I send my
Thank
love to your family.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. So I'm still here. This is COVID-19 and company conversations from the epicenter across the globe. I'm gonna throw out this question to you all. What does freedom look like to you? Feel free to put an answer in the comments because I was having a discussion at the Juneteenth celebration about what freedom means to a lot of people. And I think we all have different ways of explaining what freedom is to us. But I'm sitting in the car right now with a couple of beautiful ladies who have been here on that fight, on that journey with how we could make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And it was finally successful, all their hard work and the pushing that they were doing. And we had a beautiful event here in LA yesterday. It was in Watts, California, and it was at the Ted Watkins Memorial Park. So it was an event. There were vendors, a lot of Black businesses just representing their brands and selling products. We had all different kinds of food out there. We had music artists, fashion, you name it. Like it was a wonderful event. And I want to first introduce Miss Moza Cooper. She's sitting right here next to me. Hi, Moza. How are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Great. So, Moza, I can't even begin. Like, if I tried to read your bio, like I would just be out of breath. So, I just want you to tell us a little bit about who you are, and let the audience know about your organization.
Okay. My name is Moza Mjasiri Cooper. I was born and raised early retreating and then posting. I was raised in United Arab Emirates in the 60s, then to London, England. I don't have the accent, but I was raised and schooled in London. I came to America in 1982 and worked at the United Nations with the African National Congress, known as ANC, Mandela's organization. And ever since, we've been fighting for the South African freedom, and we won it. I was in it, and then I came to California with Canadian Broadcasting, and I worked with the president of the Canadian Broadcasting, and then I left, and I've just been doing my community services that I think I was meant to do because I had no clue I still have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm doing.
Doing great.
And then now I have an organization called Black Arts Los Angeles, which we intend and want to expand it to every art, artistic or artist school to help artists who are not getting the voice to promote their work, to sell their work, the kids especially. And my aim or my reason for doing this is I want to connect America to Africa and doing programs and learn from each other. Knowing that, I'm African, continental born, as they say, I love being here and I love being with my sisters who are American born, and we exchange ideas and work a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
And we do Juneteenth, that's right. We've been promoting Juneteenth festival, Juneteenth. Uh, why we're doing the reason why we're doing Juneteenth, and my co-founder with Juneteenth is here in the car. Just happened to be here in the car. Her name is Gail Jennings, and she is the child of a freed slave on that day, June 19th, 1865. Shall I pass her on?
Yes, definitely. So now we're going to meet Gail.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gail Jennings, born in Los Angeles to a couple who migrated out of Texas after World War II. My great grandparents were emancipated on June 19th, 1865, from a little town called Crockett, Texas, in East Texas. And because of that, Juneteenth is very personal to me, as well as important to me culturally and socially. We had a wonderful celebration yesterday. It was one of those, what I call a wonderful Wakanda moment, when we as people could really celebrate who we are in our fullness. And yes, it's a marker, it's a milestone. No, we can't consider that full reparations. Yes, we have to continue to fight voter suppression and brutality and wage theft and health disparities and so many other things that we are concerned about and working on to make our lives and our communities better, housing, things of that nature. But I think it was very monumental. We have to give credit to Miss Opal Lee, who walked and walked and walked until uh, she was able to live to see her dream of having this holiday come to be. I also have a company called King's Pepper. I feel like I am really the hope and the dream of those enslaved people, educated, enterprising, working in the community. Uh, um, and I hope that you all were able to partake in some wonderful Juneteenth activities in your community. And thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you. So I want you all, if one of you, I don't know which one of you wants to answer, but for those that don't understand what is Juneteenth, like what the meaning of Juneteenth and why we celebrate it, like I understand it, but I think a lot of people are confused because like even former President Trump was confused, so can you just explain that briefly?
Yes, I want to say first that we know that on June 19th in 1865, not all of those who were enslaved were freed from bondage. But Juneteenth has come to symbolize the freedom from enslavement of all Black peoples, or people who were enslaved, including indigenous people, Mexican people, people from the Philippines, people from all over the world. It has taken on that significance. There were people who were freed from bondage later than that, and of course, much earlier than that. The night of Jubilee, we talk about December 31st in 1862, when people were camped out. They were in their churches, they were in their homes praying that they'd live till the morning to see the day of Jubilee, when on January 1st in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect. So it is a symbolic holiday. It's not, there's checks that wants to take, the credit, and, people thinking it was all done. And there's not any grain of truth to this myth that the people in Texas did not know about the Emancipation Proclamation. It was not enforced, and there's nothing simple about it. It was very complicated issue. Why people in Texas were still enslaved. It's a very complicated issue, including some of them think, the South would prevail and we'd be able to have our way and continue this a slave labor-based economy. But we have failed, as Maya Angelou says so beautifully. We are the dream and the hope of the slave living here in America now, continuing on our journey, fighting for our rights. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. I wanted to really just cover that because it's so timely right now in the news as we're talking about this holiday. And I think like a lot of people are getting excited because we understand what it's about, but there's a lot of people that have a misunderstanding of what the celebration is. So I want to ask both of you, like with this, now that this is a federal holiday, what do you all see will change for us as a people, being that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday? Let's start with you, Gail.
Okay. Well, now that we have a federal holiday, I think you can expect. I think Martin Luther King Day, like as a day of service. He died fighting for jobs for us. I think of Juneteenth as a day for our well-being. There are things that our ancestors wanted desperately for us at emancipation. They want to be reunited with their families. They want to be able to own land. They wanted to vote. They want to be a part of the political process. They wanted education, if not for themselves, certainly for their children. And we have been moving forward on that path. And it seems like so many times we are called upon to pick up a protest sign and march and be angry and be in a throng. Where I feel like Juneteenth is a time where we need to pause, take a deep breath, and really reflect on how we can use this time and enjoy, have some fun. Listen to June is Black Music Month. We got to revel in our music, our beauty, our culture. We did a panel in our virtual space called The Flavors of Juneteenth. And we talked about all of those things. Make the day what you want, but be about something right about now. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate both of you for taking some time just to join us here on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to make sure that we talk about this because it's a pivotal moment for us. And I think that we've seen a lot with the George Floyd death and everything that has taken place. And I really feel like we've had a lot of growth just over the last year for things for African Americans, for Black people as a general, because it doesn't have to be just African Americans. There are a lot of people that have brown skin, brown people, whether you're born in America, whether you're born in Africa or some other part of the world. We have this tendency to have this separation. And I think it's important for us to stand united because there's power in numbers and unity. Things can be changed. And I think going back to the MLK movement, the civil rights movement, there's been a lot of marching, there's been a lot of protests, but we haven't seen as much change as we should have seen with all of those things taking place. So now, and just in the last year, a lot of changes that have been made are far overdue, but I'm very happy to see those changes. So I thought it was very important to just spend some time talking about those things. I want to ask if either of you would like to have any final words for the audience, any words of encouragement before we get ready to sign off.
I'd like to say, keep on doing the best you can. Reach out, unite, love each other. Let's do economic work together. Let's help each other for those who cannot help themselves. Reach out. That's all I'm doing, and that's what I'd like to see happening so we can all be happy. It's not going to be all happy, but at least we are balancing life, tragedies, and successes.
Yes. And while I have you talking, Moza, tell us the name of your organization again, how we can find you, how we can reach you and support what you are doing with the Black arts community.
Thank you. Its website is www.blackartslosangelesinfo.org. www.blackartslosangelesis.org and www.losangelesjuneteenth.com. We have a lot of programs that we are aiming for young people. They are our future, so that's what we want to do, a lot of stuff and set it up for them to continue doing where we left off.
Awesome. And you can check out those websites also if you missed the Juneteenth celebration yesterday, right?
Yes.
There was a live feed. Everything was going live. So you can go to those websites and you can check out what happened yesterday and see all of the artists. And there were lots of interviews. I also want to ask you, Gail, if you can just give us your contact information, how to reach you and your organization.
Kingspepper.com, www.kingspepper.com is where I sell my West African based spice blends based on a West African recipe, no salt, peanut, or MSG. It's also home of the African taco, where I sell a kit where you make African tacos vegan using black eyed peas as a base, kind of like a falafel. And
Any words of encouragement you want to?
Moza and I sort of the 2-day celebration of Juneteenth in Leimert Park, building on what Jonathan Leonard had done, having it on the 19th only in our community. This was some 12 years ago. Now the young people in Leimert Park have Leimert Park Rising. So we are keeping a generational acknowledgement of our culture and our heritage. Now that's important for you to do where you are. We had a beautiful fashion show and our wonderful model looked fabulous. I hope she posts pictures of how beautiful she looked. It was a wonderful time, and share Juneteenth in your heart and on your plate in your community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you so much, Moza, for just giving us a little bit of information on what you all were doing. They do such wonderful things for the community. So this is just a small part of what they do and how they contribute to the community to make it a better place. So we are going to get ready to go. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and I hope that you learned something from this show. And I want to see your comments about what freedom means to you. So I'll be looking and I will be commenting. So thank you again. Please make sure that you like the COVID-19 and Company show page here. It's also on Facebook, and check out Angira Productions. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel as we just started and would like to see it grow and like to see the information expand to uplift and encourage and empower others all across the globe. Just as we always lead with the Bible first. The verse that I have today is in thought of Father's Day and thinking about being a whole man, thinking about even the women who are out here playing the role of fathers. The Bible verse is Proverbs 20, verse 7, which reads, "The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him." So may your children be blessed by the things that you do and what you contribute to the world, to your community. And I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors and contributors to the show. So to Careworthy and Hot Wax Promotions, the Organization of Black Designers, to Tangi Watts, Publicist Extraordinary in Charlotte, North Carolina, to Generation Next Realty Team, Carrot Omnimedia, and the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show, which you can find Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. from 8:30 to 9 on WPCE, WPCL, WBXB in Charlotte, and those are in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. Also, shout out to my makeup sponsor, Miss Gloria Wong. Also, Toya Nicole, aka Cola the Model, who's a huge supporter of the show. And to Katie Sy of Kate Diamond Braided Wigs, which I am wearing one of her fabulous handmade wigs. So you can check her out on Instagram and on Facebook under Katie Sy. That's KHADY space SY. So make sure you check her out. Get your own fabulous braided wig from Kate Diamond Braided Wigs. And thank you all for watching. I also want to give a shout out to Alex Udebu of Primitive Arts, who is also a sponsor of the show, even though I don't have his art in my background today. So thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your wonderful Sunday and Father's Day. Make sure if you have not called your father yet, call him. Make sure he feels that love. Send all the love to the fathers today. And I will talk to you all soon. You have been watching COVID-19 and Company, conversations from the epicenter across the globe with your girl, Angela Marie, signing off. We'll see you next Sunday. Same time, same place. Toodles for now.